Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we're going to have fun. I'm going to take you around a typical day here at Creekside Nursery. Now, if you've been around Creekside Nursery for any length of time, you know that there really is no such thing as a typical day. We're going to start up here at production because we just had a truck come and I'm thinking that he's dropping the trailer. I really have no clue what's going on. That doesn't mean anything. There's a lot of things that happen around here that I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what we're doing today. So we're gonna figure out what is going on with that tractor trailer. I've got Brenna here. She is on the leash. We'll be respectful when we have truck drivers come because we don't know if they like dogs or not. So we always have her on a leash when we have deliveries made. I do want to go ahead and we're gonna figure out what's going on with the truck. Then we're going to go over to the production annex. We have got a lot of good work has been done. Jerry and I came up here yesterday afternoon and put the first round of the house wrap on, so that is very nice and exciting. But the majority of the day, I believe, is going to be spent down at the retail center. So Jerry and I are going to be working in the retail greenhouse. We've got some cleaning to do. We're going to be rearranging. I think we're going to move the fountain out of the retail greenhouse and put it in its new location. So lots of fun things happening. If you're new, Creekside Nursery, we are a grower retailer in Dallas, North Carolina, Zone 7B. We are just west of Charlotte, very close to the South Carolina state line. But we grow our plants and then sell them directly to our customers in the public. We are gearing up for our growing season 2023. It is just around the corner. Our first round of Proven Winner Annuals will arrive mid-January and they will go in the retail greenhouse. That is where we start our first round of growing those annuals. So that is where they're going to go. Therefore, we need to get everything spick and span, clean, sanitized, ready to go for those first little babies that are coming. So, yep, he dropped that trailer. Don't know why. Let's go figure out and find out what's going on. All right, so I did a little investigating and what it is they have dropped the trailer because it has all the parts for the greenhouse that we need. So if you remember, we have talked about where we're going to do some modifications to production 1 because that is an unheated greenhouse. So we have the heater for that, and then also we are going to switch out in production 1 where it had really large like roll-up doors on the front and the back, taking those off, and we're going to have sliding doors like we have on production 2. The sliding doors also will be in the dry storage, Jerry?
One of them.
He's right there standing with the side of me. The one going into the production annex will have the sliding doors. Don't know what we're going to do on the front. So let me show you what we have. We're obviously standing inside of the trailer. We love the fact that they dropped the trailer for us, and then that way we can unload it at our convenience. So what you see down here on the bottom, those are the doors. They do have a protective film on it, so that way they're not damaged during transportation. We'll take those off, and then they will be clear, and we can see through them just like what we currently have in production 2. In this box, we have all of the tubing for the heaters. So this will extend. One's an extender for the one that we currently have, and then there is the other box that will be for the new heater for production 1. So the big box in the back right here, that is the heater. We have fans here, and there's 4 of them, I believe. Those are circulation fans, which is what we currently have in production 2. And so you have, they're called circulation fans, and you have them up top, and you put them in, some of them are going in opposite directions. So basically you're creating a current up at the top of the greenhouse to circulate that warm air so that we don't have hot spots or cold spots. So we have those, then we have more pipes. This is all for the heaters, so those pipe kit. And then if you can see down here on the edge, these are the tracks for the doors. So that is what those are, and you can see that. So we will get this unloaded hopefully today, and that way it'll just go ahead and get it done. We have it. They can come pick up this trailer. It is fantastic. I don't know if you can hear Brenna or not, because explain what's going on. She is down here on the ground. Obviously, she's not up in the trailer with us, and she is not happy that she's down there and Mama is up here. All right, so that is the first adventure of the day. So let's go see what other mischief we can get into. The fellas are busy working here in this little nook behind me. I'll show you here in just a second. But look what has been done in the last day. So the fellas got both of the ends completely covered in that OSB. So that's really, really fun to see that. Nice, and just looks fantastic. And then you can see where Jerry and I went ahead and got that first level, that first course of the house wrap onto the annex. And so this is going to help keep everything airtight, weathertight, waterproof, all that good stuff. So when you build a house, you put this wrap on there, and you can see that we went ahead and Jerry went and cut out the windows and the door down here right over there, because yesterday when we were putting this on, it was just slightly breezy and it was pulling. So of course we want to go ahead and cut that, because we're still needing to put OSB here. That's what the fellas are working on right now. That's on the other side. But yeah, so we got that first round done. This was a 9-foot tall piece of wrap, and it was just Jerry and I doing it, and it went well, but it was a little challenging to do just because it was 9 feet. But you got 9 feet done in one pass, so that was really nice. We have still left to do up there at the top. It is just right at like 3 feet. It's like 3 feet and 1 inch that needs to be wrapped, and Jerry and I were looking back on the Home Depot's website, and the wrap either comes in 9 feet or 3 feet. So 3 feet is, of course, obviously too small by 1 inch, and then the 9 foot, well, you don't want to be up that high doing another 9 foot, and then you're overlapping so much. So what we talked about is actually taking a 9-foot roll and cutting it in half with the saw, and so then we have 4.5 feet. So we'll see if that's what we do, but that's what we talked about. So we are making progress. Let me show you what the fellas are working on right now. Over here on this spot, there's Josh up there. He's having fun. There he is. So this space that they are working on is a little bit challenging. Excuse me if we're a little bouncy around here. It's a frozen construction zone. It's a little bit challenging just because it's such a narrow spot, and trying to get all your equipment in there. So you can see maybe that they've got ladders up here. Josh is standing on the roof. So they're all working together to get it lifted up there. It's an orchestra. It's a fun process. So they're all three working together. They do a really good job working together. They're a great team for sure. We do adore our Josh and Roman and Chase, doing just a great job. So I'll come back and keep you updated on how they do. Maybe at the end of the day, see what kind of progress they make. They're a noisy bunch, aren't they? And so I think Jerry and I are going to head on down to the other greenhouse, the retail. Brenna. I'm sorry, y'all. She was trying to eat somebody's breakfast. We're gonna head. It's amazing we stay sane around here. We're gonna go get some other stuff done. Come on. All right, so here we are at the retail portion of Creekside Nursery. Several things happening here right now. You probably hear a motor running or something. That is Jerry. He is in the greenhouse and he is pressure washing the floor. Of course, we've gone through one whole growing season, selling season, retail season in this space, and you just wanted to get things all neat and tidy and sanitized before we put new plants in and start a brand new growing season. So there's no plants in there. This is the perfect time to do it. So he is in there pressure washing and just getting up, dirt and gunk and all that other kind of stuff. Nice clean floor. Then we can come back and make sure that it's nice and sanitized. And we do that simply because growing from one season into the next, if we had any kind of problems like with aphids or mealybugs or spider mites or any kind of pest in there, or if there was a fungus, powdery mildew, just common things that happen to all of us gardeners, then you don't want to take that from one growing season into the next growing season. So that is why it's so important for us to clean and sanitize these growing spaces, because if there was an issue, we want to make sure that that is eliminated and not carried over into the next year. So that is the importance of that. It's very noisy in there. I'll show you a little bit of what he's doing. It's not, if you've pressure washed a concrete floor, that's pretty much what he's doing. Nothing fancy for sure. And then we have Emily and Meredith over here, and they are continuing the process of getting the tables nice and stained. So this is what they have done so far, and you can see just how nice they look. We are using that black alder stain that we used on the fence and in various other places. So doing that, looking good. It is, they've got it down to a science. Jerry is going to spray some of these spaces, but for now they are coming in and just hand doing it. The tables that are directly in front of me right here that are not done, we're going to toss those. Those are so warped and old. Those were some probably of our very first ones that we ever did. So we're just going to toss those and build some new ones. And then the pergola is not going to get stained to that color. We are going to leave all the pergolas, because we have this, obviously this nice big massive pergola, and then we have like a retail one out there, and then there are some there that are on the shrub lot, and then the barn, these are all the same color, and our little quote outhouse, not really an outhouse, it just houses the electrical panel. So those are all going to stay the brown cedar color, and we like the way that the black and the brown accent each other, and so those are going to stay. So they're just going to continue to get things stained, and he's going to pressure wash. I think I'm going to go in here. We're going to move all of the heartwood birdhouses, butterfly houses out of the retail greenhouse and put them in the barn. It just makes more sense to have them in there. So that is what I'm going to work on. And then, we'll meet back here in just a little bit and see what else we can get into. All right, so we grabbed Jackson because he's, such an expert on the bobcat. And we are going to move this fountain from Unique Stone, and we're going to go put it in the pines. So we recruited Jackson over here to help us. He went and got the small bobcat and then got the forks on there, and we are going to put the fountain base, because those are separate pieces. Jerry wasn't here when we put this together. Josh and I put this together. So all that comes apart. And so we're going to take the base, get it on the forks of the bobcat, and then take it over to the pines. We decided to take it out of here because, one, the scale was a little off. Two, we need this area to house plants, and so it didn't quite work the way I had envisioned in my brain here, but no fret. We are going to move it over to the pines and be a nice, quiet, tranquil area for people to come and sit and listen to the fountain as Jerry just about So I'm going to hop off of here and help him unload this so that nothing breaks. So we have got the fountain in its New spot, we're not gonna worry about leveling it today and setting it all up. We'll just go grab those other pieces to the fountain and bring it over and just have it right here, because we're not gonna have this fountain running until probably, I would say, like mid-March, end of March, because it'll depend, of course, on the weather. So once temperatures warm up and we get past all of those threats of those hard freezes, then we can get it running. So as long as we just get the pieces over here for right now, it can stay disassembled and be just fine. But to give you a little bit of a different perspective of where it is, basically, if you've been to the nursery, it is right behind the fire pit. Now, again, I don't know that the placement's exact, but I do know that that's where it is going to go. Again, working area, just ignore the dead fern, that just doesn't belong there, and ignore the old scrappy table right there. Obviously, that's going to be gone too. But the idea is to have the fountain centered, it looks actually pretty decent, centered behind the fire pit right there, and I think it'll look really nice. The color is perfect with the pine needles. Believe this is the dark walnut, if my memory serves me correct. And so we'll have the dark walnut, and it really just blends quite nicely with these pine needles. So we can check that little project off the list, and now we'll go on to something else. There's nothing like, you know, pressure washing a nice concrete floor and then walking in with muddy footprints. Yep, that was me, sorry. So my sweet husband is getting rid of my footprints. Oh, I thought my feet were clean. Anyway, I digress. So we did not get the whole greenhouse done. It is, it's a job and a half. It'll wear your hands out to get, you know, pressure wash for hours upon time. And to get everything neat and tidy, that's what we were having to do. So this side of the greenhouse is done. So we got all the red mud. It's 3/4 of the way. That's what Jerry said. 3/4 of the way is done. I mean, I think you can obviously see as we kind of move over here, the area that is not done yet, but making good progress. That's the spot that's not done, all the mud. But yeah, so it's looking good. Of course, once it dries, it'll look even better, but we're kind of done for the day. It is that, it's so funny to see the different memes out on social media about that week between Christmas and New Year's. It's like everybody's in this big fog, and anyway, we're along those lines too. But the work still continues, and it's nice to have not quite so much of like a pressure of a date where it has to be done, right? We're working with a timeline, but there is a little bit of grace and flexibility in there, so that's nice. So,
Did you talk about that one of those big old round things we gotta give them?
I did not. Why don't we talk about that? Because I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, brother.
Yeah, just to save us some time, you can buy these with a pole. They're round and have jets all the way around them, and a concrete cleaner.
Okay.
It's a disc of 24, 36 inches wide, and you can hook it to your pressure washer, and you can cover more area faster.
Oh yeah, we need one of those.
Yeah, we'll need one of those.
We need one of those. If anybody's ever used one of those and you really love it,
Yeah, tell us which one.
tell us which one and where you got it. That would be great. Yeah, let's use the power of social media to find some good tools. All right, so now we're gonna go back up to the production and check on the boys.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll meet you up there at production. All right, so here we are back up at production, and the fellas are making good progress. It is a little bit slow and tedious today just because of the tight quarters, and then they had to do a lot of angle cuts. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. I think the area that slowed them down the most was making sure that they got a nice perfect angle on the right above the roof to the little hallways. So the area that I'm talking about that has slowed them down really is this area right here, because remember those boards that are running right here, that's going to be the slanted roof of the little hallway. So getting in there was, and getting those angles just right, because as you can see, it's very unique, was the one that slowed them down. But they have made really good progress. They've gone all the way across. All they have left to do now are the big open spaces up there at the top. They will tackle those. They're taking a break right now, but we'll see if they do them now or if they're going to wait and do it another day. Knowing them, they're going to go for it and go ahead and try to do it today. They're going to leave. Now these walls will be covered as well, but for now they're going to leave them open because it's easy to cut through back and forth, because as soon as they close this, then they can't cut through. So they're going to leave these open for right now, but just doing a fantastic job. Before we know it, this building is going to be a little bit more tight and secure, which is good because, of course, under quote normal weather circumstances, January, February is when we get our worst weather, and if we're going to get snow or ice, it normally is going to happen during that time. So if we can hurry up and get this buttoned up and quote weatherproof, then the things inside can happen and take place. So we were talking about the different materials that we're going to use. We're exploring options as far as the siding, because nothing is, there are no wonderful, like, hands down, like this is the best option. So we're looking at doing like a hardy plank siding, which is actually what we have on our house. And so it's a cement product, but it looks like wood, and it's in planks, or you can even get it in sheets, like I think a 4x8 sheet. And then you can paint it, so you can be whatever color you want. But the great thing is that you don't have to paint it. So as opposed to wood, if you don't, keep it stained or keep it painted and then it will rot, the hardy plank will not do that. So that's an option. Then we could do a wood siding, but of course have to keep it stained, have to keep it painted, whatever. And then we're looking at like some sort of other type of, I say laminate, it's not laminate. I forget exactly what that is. A sheeting though. We have it on our chicken coop. So there's that. But anyway, we're just trying to figure out, we looked at metal siding, like on the metal roof, but do it as siding. So we still have some figuring to do on that for sure. But we need to kind of hurry up and make a decision on that, because we need to get those products ordered and figure out exactly what we're going to do in there. But yeah. Busy day here at Creekside. It is a quote typical day. I say typical because there is no typical day here. It's just you just go with the flow, and what happens will happen, and there you go. So as always, thanks so much for growing with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.